Welcome back to part 2 of our 3-part series of how to make your lead generation campaigns more effective. So just a bit of recap from the last video that we did, right? Where we talked about the 3 reasons why your lead generation campaigns are ineffective. And that's number 1, you're using broad targeting to reach everyone. Number 2, you're promoting your solution without first understanding the needs of your buyers. And number 3, you're trying to sell without first building trust or authority. Now in the last video, we went through how to overcome the first one. In this video, we're going to talk through how to overcome the second challenge or the second problem. So let's talk about promoting your solution without first understanding the needs of your buyers. Now, before I get into this one, I just want to remind you of this quote, right? Your solution has no value without a problem. Let me say it again. Let me look into this camera and say it. Your solution has no value without a problem. And let me give a quick example of that, right? So let's say, for example, you're selling painkillers, right? So you're pushing out your solution. We sell painkillers, we sell painkillers, we sell painkillers, right? Now, if I'm not in pain right now, or I may have a pain and I'm not even aware that I have a pain, or probably I struggle with migraines and I'm not even aware that I struggle with migraines, I'm going to ignore your message, right? Here's a better approach. First, identifying the problem and then tying that problem back to your solution. So let's say you're still selling painkillers. You may say to me, Winston, are you suffering from migraines as a result of being around your computer screen for too long? Do you wake up with unbearable headaches because you didn't get a good night's sleep or whatever the case may be, right? We have the solution to actually help you with that, and that solution is our painkiller. So right away, what you have done is you have highlighted the 2 problems that I more than likely struggle with, and it's relatable and relevant to me, and then tied your solution in as the way to help me overcome that particular problem. Now, here's the kicker to it. Even if I may not be struggling with that particular pain right now, the mere fact that you highlighted the problem, you highlighted the pain, you highlighted the symptom, it's going to cause me to, in the future, when I wake up with unbearable headaches or I've been around the computer screen for too long and it causes me to have a migraine, I'm going to immediately think of your solution. Why? Because you highlighted the problem for me and then you tied your solution to it to make that connection for me, right? So never ever assume that your buyers are going to make the connection on their own just because you're promoting your solution, right? Always remember, your solution has no value without a problem. So step 1 in overcoming the challenge of not understanding your buyers and then tying your solution to their problem is you want to do that client research, right? I'm sorry, you can't avoid it. There are 2 ways that you could actually do that client research. You can do client interviews or you can do client surveys. If you choose to do client interviews, then you want to interview about 10 to 12 people. If you're doing client surveys, then you want to send out your survey to about 50 to 100 people, right? Now, personally, I prefer to do client interviews because it's more in-depth. If I ask a question and they give me a response, I can always ask a follow-up question. So it helps me to really dig deep into not just the what and the how, but the why they choose to do business with us, or what they may be thinking, or what sort of triggers actually they experience as a result of reaching out to us for our particular solution. So whether you choose to do that client survey or that client interview, there are 3 questions you want to ask. Number 1, what were you trying to do or achieve while you decided to come to us, right? Some people call it use cases, some people call it jobs to be done. Number 2, how were you trying to do or achieve it before, or who you tried before us, right? So probably they have a particular method or way they tried to get it done, or they probably had a competitor of yours that they actually were trying to get the job done or to achieve this particular thing, but it just didn't work out. Number 3, what were all the problems or challenges you experienced doing it the old way, right? So it's what were they trying to do, how they were trying to do it or achieve it before, what were all the problems or challenges associated with that old way they were trying to do it. So once you've actually collected the data, then you want to organize all the responses. And here's how you actually go about doing that. You want to put all the information in an Excel sheet, or however you want to collect it, Google Sheet, whatever the case may be. Let me just get my big head out of the way here. So you want to collect, for example, the full name of, whether you chose to do it 10 to 12 client interviews or 50 to 100 surveys. These are the information. This is the information that you want to collect. You want to collect their full name of everyone who participated. And then you notice here I have criteria 1, criteria 2, because you can decide to add what you want here that may be important to you. Because let's say, for example, you're a business selling services to other businesses, then you may want to have the job title or position of the person that you interviewed or you surveyed, and you probably want to have the company name that's associated with that person, right? Let's say you're a business selling services to an individual consumer, then probably you want to have age range here, for example, or job title or income level, or you want to have, for example, in criteria 2, location, right? So it just depends on the information that you probably want to add to this Excel sheet that you believe is most important to you. But for this specific example, the 2 columns that's most important to me are these 2. And you'll notice it says problem response and problem theme. So let's say, for example, we interviewed or surveyed Cheryl Baker, right? Cheryl Baker, we asked her the same 3 questions and we identify that, all right, all the struggles based on all the problem responses that she gave us, she struggles to generate quality leads, and her sales are slow during some seasons, right? And you'll notice here I have a problem theme. I'm going to get to this side in a second, but let me just go through the rest. For Ronald Stanley, for him, it's prospects complain prices are too high. Most leads can't afford services. Prospects can't see the difference with our offer versus competitors, right? With Mindy Summers, her only problem is that she struggles to stand out. With Christopher Williams, his problem is that he lacks funding, sales keeps declining, bigger competitors who offer the same thing, right? So going through all these different responses, what you want to do now is assign a problem theme to it. Why do we want to assign a problem theme? A problem theme basically is a way to categorize the different responses. So responses that are either the same or similar, you want to be able to categorize them so it's easier for us to actually, I would say, kind of put everything into a very neat category so that we're able to better analyze from a high level rather than us having to go through, let's say, for example, 100 surveys to look through, each of the different problems, and we'll get to the next section. So let's say we start with the first one, struggle to generate quality leads. Then we create a problem theme or category called lead quality. The next one is sales are slow during some seasons. So we create a problem theme or category called slow sales. We come to Ronald, the second row, and we say prospects complain prices are too high. So we put high prices as a problem theme. Most leads can't afford services, right? So we can decide that, all right, based on how we describe it, we're going to put this in the category of lead quality. So right away you say we're categorizing the different problem responses that they gave here. Prospects can't see difference with our offer. Let's say we put that and we call a category called differentiation or problem theme. We come to Mindy, struggle to stand out. Same thing again. Put it in the category of differentiation. Christopher, lack of funding. We create a problem category called problem funding. Sales declining. We put it in a category called slow sales. Bigger competitors offering the same thing. We put in a category called differentiation. So once we come over to the next slide, then we want to create a column for each of the problem themes or categories that we created. So we're still going to have everybody's first name, but then we have a column for each one of the themes, right? So for Cheryl Baker, she falls within the category, the theme of slow sales, lead quality. Ronald struggled with lead quality, high prices, differentiation. Mindy struggled with only differentiation. Christopher struggled with slow sales, differentiation, and funding. So once we actually do that, then what we're going to do is we're going to look at each column and we're going to rank them basically from the highest or the most common responses to the lowest common responses. So here we say slow sales has 2 responses, lead quality has 2 responses, high prices has 1 response, differentiation has 3 responses, and funding has 1 response. So what we're going to do now is to say, all right, we look on all of them, differentiation has the most responses, so that would be number 1 or number 1 problem. Slow sales would be number 2 because it has 2 responses, also lead quality. So what we're going to do with this is we want to select the top 3, right? So looking on this, we can see that the top 3 are differentiation, lead quality, slow sales. So we wouldn't necessarily include high prices or funding in terms of how we categorize, because what we're trying to do is we want to identify what are the top 3 problems, right? Are the top 3 categories, which is the reason why, before we actually created different themes, because we want to be able to identify which are the top 3 themes or the top 3 categories. And for everything that we do in terms of marketing, sales, every sort of execution moving forward, especially with our lead generation campaigns, we only want to focus on the ones that are the most common among all of our different people who participated in the survey or our client interviews. So once we do that, once we've identified the top 3 problems and the top 3 use cases, now what we're going to do is to map problems or your buyer's problems or your buyer's top 3 problems and use cases to your solution, right? So this is now how you can tie your buyers or your target buyers' problems with your solution to help them make that connection, to help your lead generation campaigns be more effective. So moving on to this slide, this is our value prop canvas. Now this is actually step 4 in our 11-step process. This is what we use to help our clients to determine their differentiation, unique value proposition, their positioning, and their messaging. So let me just go through each of these different points or segments so that you can understand what it means. So best fit buyer description, this is who are our ideal or best fit target buyers that we actually want to go after. I'm not going to get into this. If you want to understand more about how to actually determine who your best fit buyers are, then watch video 1 or part 1. I actually go through an entire process where I actually break down how you can identify that. So moving on from there, here are the use cases or the activities or the things that they're trying to achieve to the far left, which is to get more clients, increase sales and revenue, grow their business regionally, right? So let's say we're actually using the same slides from Cheryl, Christopher, Mindy, and Ronald from the previous slides. Then this is what we now take all those use cases, all those problems, and we fill out this particular template or framework that I have here. So this is what they're trying to do. This is the old way that we're trying to do, which is through referrals and their network. These are all the problems associated or the top 3 problems based on what we identified. So remember what we identified here. Let me go back. Right? Based on these top 3, differentiation, lead quality, slow sales. This is what we would now fill in right here. Top struggle to differentiate their brand. Struggle with slow sales, struggle with low quality leads, right? These are all the problems and we'll fill that out. Here would be the solution or the better way of actually doing it, right? So this is now where we actually fill in what your offer is, what your solution, whatever the case may be. And then the final slide now, or the final segment or steps here would be the benefits as a result of implementing our solution and our better way. So here's how you could actually go about doing this now, where you can say this is the use case that you're trying to identify. You want to get more clients, increase sales and revenue, grow your business. The problem is that how you were doing it before, you were struggling to differentiate your brand, struggling with slow sales, struggle with low quality leads. Our authority branding system, which is a solution, can help you to eliminate all of these problems, achieve all these things that you're trying to achieve, and this is a benefit as a result of using our solution. So right away, we're able to tie your target buyer's problems to your specific solution. Well, I guess in this case, our target buyer's problems to our specific solution. So that's how you first of all identify what are the problems, what are the activities or use case that your specific segment, your specific target buyers, your best fit buyers are trying to do, the problems associated with it, and know how you actually tie your solution as the end all be all, so to speak, that can help them overcome their problems while helping them to achieve the things that they want to achieve. So that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. In next week's video, I'm actually going to go through the final of the 3-part series where I'm going to show you how to take everything we have here in the value prop canvas and actually use it to build trust and authority at scale with your potential prospects, with your potential clients, with people who you want to target and go after, who are your ideal clients and best fit buyers. Until then, see you in the next video. If you haven't watched the first one as yet, please go and watch that right now.